Delete TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all of that. You're getting way too addicted to these apps. I'm sure that's what some of your parents have said, your friends. Even these self-help videos tell you to delete social media. I was one of the advocates for deleting your social media apps. I told people to follow what I was doing when I deleted social media for 2 months. I mean, after all, I was hooked. I need to quit this addiction. But after going through that experience, I'd like to give an unpopular take to my side and share the cons of quitting social media. Boom. That's it. It was my first day back on monk mode and Instagram was the only form of social media I had, and it was finally deleted. No more stories, no more messages, no more reels to scroll through. The problem was finally solved, right? All the benefits would just come knocking on my front door, and when I open it, I find nothing on the other side. Just nothing. The feeling of emptiness consumed my body the next day as my tendency to open Instagram every few minutes surged my mind. Even though Instagram wasn't even on my phone, I still checked my phone every few minutes just to realize that Instagram wasn't even on there. I felt the buzzes on my left eye when nothing really happened. It was just the signs of addiction that I faced. That dopamine addiction has consumed me as much as drugs do for a recovering crack addict. So what do?
Man, if we're gonna be law-abiding good boys, we need something else to fill the dark, lonely void that
Addicting social media shorts
once did. Well, how about we crack open a nice cold can of water?
Let me try listening to some podcasts.
Slaves worked all the hours they were
Let's try
awake
something else.
for
Getting
their
ahead of
entire
homework?
life.
Well, I'm done now, but what else can I do? YouTube! Well, I feel pretty burnt out now, but I need something to fill the rest of my time with. Meditation. Hey Russell, could you do me one big favor real quick? Do your damn chores! Damn it. Let's just watch some educational YouTube videos. That's right, instead of using that time to be more productive, I instead replaced short-form content with long-form content that told me how to be more productive. Ironic. I've always thought that brainwashing myself with productive messages will in turn give me that same result right away, but I was dead wrong. I addressed the issue, but I never fixed it. It wasn't the social media that was destroying my productivity. It was the need for dopamine, which caused my laziness. I didn't fight those demons, I only tried to hide from them, and they found me to hook me on to another form of procrastination that was even more time consuming than social media. With social media, content could just be swiped away and dismissed after a couple minutes. With long form content, I felt like I needed to get the most value out of that video, so I was willing to make time pass by finishing the video for my own benefit, even though it was such a huge time waster. Even though I replaced social media with another form of entertainment, it didn't help that school was going to be an interesting experience. I knew I was going to be missing a lot of updates from people just by not being able to see the stories. A full weekend just passed by and I suck at starting conversations without anything to bring up from Instagram stories. I walk into my first period and the conversations begin. Did you see my story? Yeah, bro, I can't believe bro did you dirty like that. That teacher really said the N-word on Black History Month? Stuff like that would be mentioned and conversations lasting the entire period would just be based off of that one story. My first period had chemistry, and it's probably the best period to talk about anything that happens around school. The only problem is that I didn't know shit about anything. They'd be asking me, Russell, how? I posted like yesterday. And I'd have to respond with, yeah, I deleted Instagram. I'd be interrogated about my reasoning, and it's always just, I need to stop my addiction. My classmates will say, I should probably do that too. And back to the conversation they went. It was just a single story, dude. You know how that feels when you're already feeling so out of touch and old just from the first couple of weeks of deleting Instagram, when just a week ago you were updated every hour of the day. It's just a weird feeling. And though I felt like I didn't care, it was just a feeling of isolation that stabbed me from the sharp contrast. It felt like I didn't belong, even though I did a week prior. Not only just the first period, but everywhere in my daily life. Sports, new movies, relationship drama, or friends just on Instagram wanting to hang out. I wouldn't see all that. Instagram is the best platform to easily get connected with people without giving a phone number or email, and that's what Instagram uses to hook users back for ad money. I just deleted all of that because of my addiction. A sacrifice that had to be made. It's just not the same through phone numbers, to be honest. Without the gifts and those funny features Instagram has, iMessage's only real advantage is privacy and their games that I'm dog water at. Instagram makes Android users even bearable to talk to. Those green messages, they actually piss me off. But here's the thing, some of my friends respected that I deleted Instagram, but some of them, for some reason, did not appreciate me deleting Instagram. Peer pressure. The alcoholic sharing, vaping spreading, trying to fit into the standards of other people because they want you to be the person they see you and to be no one else. I think I said that right. Peer pressure gets a negative connotation, and for this specific context, it's well deserved. Don't listen to them. Don't give in to the temptation. But this is harder said than done. More and more people start to find out why I haven't been reposting their stories or replying back to their messages, and they'd be getting pissed. I tell them about deleting Instagram and trying to remove distractions, but some of them would just ask me why. And then make sly comments to my face about the whole Instagram thing. What shit, friends, right? I don't consider them friends anymore. You see, I'm the type of person who could resist the immediate feedback from someone because I've learned that staying composed keeps people away from teasing or bullying more. The main issue is several hours after that initial reaction, during my mental breaks, my mind likes to recap and connect the dots with every scenario. And these words of discouragement will just run through my mind every time. These words would follow me throughout the next couple of days, trying to give in to the peer pressure to feel cool. But I knew that wasn't the path I wanted to take. I needed to overcome this addiction, and that meant I had to keep going till my monk mode was over. Once the peer pressure stopped though, nothing was happening that spiced my life. When I got back home from school, there was no one in my room to socialize with. It was just me, working countlessly on school assignments and YouTube. The reason why I always have music or some type of form of media playing in the background while I'm doing work is because it's hard for me to grasp the feeling of being alone in my room. It brings nostalgia, the times that have passed and the moments that I can't go back to. I hate this feeling of being alone because there's no one out there with the same types of ambitions as me. I've grown up into thinking that you should only spend time and energy on friendships that will benefit you in the future. But ever since I've gotten into that realm of underlying success, the cost has been me giving up a lot of my friendships. Instagram was just an easy way to connect through humor and through education, through ideas of inspiration. But when all of that is taken away from you, inspiration becomes bland as 50 different sources of content are just condensed into 4 different sources of the same content on YouTube. I don't get my ideas just off the top of my head. I require inspiration through the content I consume and how life plays out in the real world. So when I just sit there, reminiscing alone, with no one I could really be able to share these innovative ideas to, with no unique ideas to create topics upon, video ideas become bland and uninteresting for me to make. These 3 videos right here were directly inspired off of a documentary styled content, and to me, it was just really boring and uninspired. That was the type of content I watched during this period. I just published them because I needed a YouTube video to make. Being alone is said to be really good for your productivity, especially during a monk mode. But when none of your current friends could ever relate to your situation, it's just kinda lonely sometimes. Deleting Instagram only slightly helped my issues when I needed to re-download Instagram for school purposes, which turned back into a washed down version of my addiction. But it was still an addiction that would interrupt moments of productivity, and I needed a different solution. What if, instead of just deleting an app, when I get back home to do work, why don't I just